All right, everybody. We put an episode out 2 weeks ago and said that we're going to get back in the booth more regularly, and here we are. This is episode 48.
Yes, sir. Episode 48.
48.
Yeah.
My favorite number, Jimmy Johnson, NASCAR driver, 7-time champion.
Hey.
That's kind of why I like number 48, but hey, it is what it is.
Okay, I like it. You're sprinkling a little bit of that knowledge on us. That's cool, man. That's cool.
We are quickly approaching episode 50. Mm-hmm. And I might have to reach out to the individual that inspired me to start this podcast.
You're talking about Joe Rogan, right?
No, not Joe Rogan.
Oh, okay.
Not at all. Stay tuned. I will be reaching out to, as someone called the GOAT, Mr. Paul Macbeth.
Ooh.
Because if you guys recall back when we started this podcast and I talked about the beginnings and all that, I could not stop talking about his contract. A 10-year, $10 million contract, the biggest thing, huge news in disc golf. And that kind of pushed me to start this show, and it's kind of evolved and developed from there. And now it's me and Brandon, and we're going almost 2 years. So
yeah,
just me and him.
Yeah. And like you mentioned before, we want to be more consistent this year. That might lead to shorter episodes, but that's fine. Just more digestible content. And we do have things to talk about, especially like this will be more of a continuation of the last episode. We have some more contract updates. That's a lot of what the news is going to center around in the off season. We're kind of settling down with big contract news. And we're going to start getting into some actual tournaments. We're starting with the All-Star weekend. But anyway,
first things first, the intro.
First things first, the intro, guys.
Or
welcome.
should we call it the appetizer? Since we have the main course.
Before the main, we're still working out the names of all the quirky, fun little things.
We got the main course, man. That's what it is. The main course.
The main course. We get to it. We do have that.
That was your idea, actually.
Yes, I will 100% take credit for it.
All right. So first things first, let's give a shout out to our socials. You know, you guys, my friends know me on Facebook. Follow me. Follow Brandon if you don't know him. Brandon Schmucker. I'll let you give your own shout out. But follow the podcast, Facebook, Instagram, the Understable Podcast 21. I believe that's what it is on both.
Yep.
YouTube channel, same thing.
Yep. And then, you got your YouTube. I do have them above my head right now.
Oh, cool.
Yep. They'll
Floating
be there
space.
the whole episode. Yes. So youtube.com/@MarkBoonstra3171 to get in on his solo YouTube, and then my solo YouTube, youtube.com/@0_BLS. You will find lots of Pokemon content there.
Yes, for you Pokemon fans, check him out. Even if you don't watch his videos, give a like, a subscribe.
Please.
I'll shout that.
Please, appreciate you. Same for Mark. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. Follow me while you're at it. Hit that subscribe. I'm trying to get back into the disc golf videos.
Yeah.
I told Brandon last time off the air that I will most likely not be competing this year. I'm not renewing PDJ. I'm not renewing UDisc. I think I'm just going to take it a year to kick back, enjoy the sport of disc golf, and be very casual with it, and get back into the videos and just go out with friends and have fun.
And you know what? And there's nothing wrong with that too, because like you can always continue to work on yourself in your game and, you know, just everything without going to a tournament every weekend, you know, like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's going to be one of those things where maybe if you want to come down and play like an Echo Valley tournament or something, or, you know, I'll jump in tournaments some of my friends are playing, or I'll play buy-ups. I'm not doing the sanctioned stuff this year, and there's a specific reason why I'm not going to get into that or into the events, and we've discussed it off the air, and I won't discuss it here with you because, you know, we agreed to that. So,
right.
What I will say is the PDJ has made some decisions that I don't agree with, and I am standing firm on my belief. So,
and you're not the
that's
only
all
one.
I'm saying on that for now.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people that feel that way.
Yep, and you're not the only one, and then we'll kind of leave it at that. But
I will be on the course this year.
Absolutely.
I will be representing Catalyst Disc Golf. So if you guys are looking to replace your mini or get some new cool minis, check out Catalyst Disc Golf on Facebook. Awesome line of just total custom minis. You can make them how you want, whatever colors you want, cool different patterns in them. They're made out of resin. and check them out.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Jess, that's for you if you listen to us. I hope you get some business. We do have a podcast store through Spreadshop. I don't have the link in front of me, and we can get it and add it, but it's on our Facebook page. I think episode 50, Brandon.
Yes.
We should go YouTube live.
That'd be fun.
And
I'm down.
I can get some shirts, hats, whatever. We can maybe do a quick giveaway.
Yeah.
Hey, it's episode 50, man. I know it's been 3 years, but it's episode 50, and it's kind of a milestone in my opinion.
100%. If you guys aren't following us on YouTube, make sure you do that so you do not miss out on the podcast. We'd love to have you on here live. Look for that. If we do that, that'd be a month from now.
Correct.
Well, it'd be a Friday probably, but I digress.
Well, it'd be a Friday or a Saturday, whatever works best for scheduling.
Yeah.
So your shout out real quick.
Last shout out for me before we move on to the meat and potatoes of the episode. I obviously am sponsored by Disc Baron. If you would like a little bit of cheese off of your order for your next online disc golf order, go to discbaron.com. Use the code 71353 at checkout for a little bit of money off. Helps me, helps the store, helps you. We might even try to work out something with Mr. Disc Baron, Jacob, to see if we can get like a Understable podcast code, a little something, you guys can just continue to use. But for now,
yeah, even if it's simply 5% off or free shipping or whatever.
But for now, use 71353. Give yourself a little bit of money. And thank you, Disc Baron, once again for having me on the team, as always. Year number 3.
Yes, absolutely. Disc Baron is a really cool store. I've been there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, check them out if you're up in Michigan, in Grand Rapids area.
All right, buddy. Let's get to it. What do we got to talk about?
Let's get to the main course.
Yes, the main course. Lead us off.
So, continuing from our last episode with contract moves and player moves and everything, we didn't have a lot of finite information as far as who was moving, who was going where. We just knew these players announced they're leaving their companies and they're going somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Well, developing story that I'm pretty sure we all saw coming. Gannonberg went to Discmania. And Alden Harris followed him. I'm guessing Alden went because of Gannon. They're really close friends. So that's kind of my guess. Biggest move of the offseason, though, in my opinion, Eagle moving to MVP.
Yes, 100%. So let's start with Gannon and sort of Alden. I mean, I guess Alden is very good and very important to Discmania now. What do you think about the worst kept secret in disc golf of Gannon going to Discmania? Was that 5? It was 5 years? 5 years? 3 years?
Honestly, I don't know what the terminology was. I didn't see any info on the contract itself. But
all right, give us your thoughts. I've noticed that a lot of places are not giving out like money values like we were with Paul Macbeth and Ricky Wysocki.
Correct.
We don't see a lot of that anymore. I've been kind of looking for that information. I just don't seem to see it anymore.
That could very well be. Players are now signing NDAs through their player management groups.
Yeah.
Like when we had who was it? Josh on from the disc golf player management group, or I think it was. I think players are getting more into those non-disclosures, and they don't want to discuss what they're making because I think we've kind of seen a cause and effect of that with a particular trilogy player.
Yep.
Who signed a big contract, ended up not competing for almost an entire season, and somebody else not getting a fair contract in their mind. And
exactly.
I don't want to throw names out there. I don't want to put anybody under the bus.
Right. I feel like it does hurt brands too. I feel like it does hurt brands to have that information just thrown out there like that. Like it was cool at first, like, hey, you know what I mean? Companies were like, hey, we're giving out cash money to players. Support us. But now it's evolved to something where it's like, okay, this isn't football. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, in football, I mean, you see, like, for example, Matt Stafford, when he signed a huge, like, $100 million contract or whatever it was, or $70 million contract with Detroit.
Yeah.
Disc golf isn't big enough to have those things on the table like that. It's not. Maybe someday it will be, but until the sport's taken more serious, it's not going to be to that point.
Well, another thing with football is like they have a cap, so you know how much money they're making. You know where the rest of the money has to go.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
like disc golf, they kind of have like pulled the wool over our eyes, almost like these companies. We don't know how much money these companies make. You know what I mean? Like when the first $1 million contract for Paul Macbeth came about, we were like, disc guys have this kind of money? Whether or not they actually do, we don't know. Maybe they're basing that on future sales. But there's a lot of smoke and mirrors when it comes to how much money disc golf companies make. We just don't know. We truly just don't know.
Right. So anyway, circling back to the whole Gannon birth thing, like
Gannon did sign.
I don't
it's
know.
3 years. 3 years for Gannon. It's 5 years for Eagle at MVP. 3 years for Gannon. Carry on, sir.
So I don't agree with Gannon's move. I mean without saying I don't like Gannon, I don't like Gannon. I just don't like the way he portrays himself. I don't like the way he carries himself.
He's young.
I've never met the guy, but yeah, he's young.
He's young.
I don't know. I don't know if he's like money hungry or I don't know what the whole deal is, but I thought he was a great team member at Prodigy, and he had a lot of potential there. He'd been with the company for 7 years, almost since they started.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Prodigy's 10 years old this year or last year.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
So, yeah, I think he's going to struggle this year, and we'll kind of get into that a little later in the episode. But, and again, with Alden Harris, I feel like that move was made because Gannon was moving. It was kind of a package deal.
Yeah.
But again, I have no proof on that. It's just speculation. So,
as far as Gannon goes, we all kind of saw it coming. I think it's a good fit for Gannon. I think the discs, obviously Discmania kind of prides themselves on having players on their team who are young, throw far, can spin putt like a 60-footer into a 50-mile-an-hour headwind and make it. Just young players with high upside, and that's what they're continuing to do, with their team. Obviously, we've got Gannon, Kyle, and Alden now. Young, high upside. We know those guys could win at any given moment. They could blow up. Like I said, I think it's a good fit for Gannon. As far as how Gannon carries himself, he is very young. How old is he? 19, 20?
19, yeah, something around there.
19, very young. He's grown up playing disc golf. I don't know if you remember this, but a certain guy by the name of Jeremy Colling was very, very much disliked in the disc golf community. I remember watching, it was like Disc Golf Monthly or McFly So High back in the day when we didn't have Jomez, okay? People just did not like Jeremy Colling. He would complain. He would distract other players with his attitude. He would, you know what I mean? I remember videos of him, he would throw a thumber. He's deep in the woods. He's leading a tournament, throws a thumber, hits the first tree available, and he's like, how could this get any worse? It was just so mind-boggling, and everyone hated him. And hate is a strong word. I'm kind of exaggerating, but he was not very popular. Changes his ways. One of the faces of Jomez. Now everyone loves him. He is older now, obviously.
Yeah, and I mean, people change as they get older and they get more mature and stuff. So hopefully that happens with Gannon.
Yeah.
He's very talented. He's a very skilled player.
Undeniably so.
And I would dare say he might be the new number one at Discmania over Kyle.
I would say, yeah.
Kyle's got that. Yeah, Kyle has a major win where Gannon doesn't, but Gannon had 5 wins last year.
Yeah.
Very consistent last year.
I would be very surprised if we go through 2023, or pardon me, 2024. I'd be surprised if we go through 2024 and Gannon doesn't have a major win, but like you said, we'll continue. We'll talk about that. Let's talk about Eagle.
Let's move to Eagle. I said it a year ago when Simon moved. I thought it was a good move. I think for Eagle, it's also a good move. And this kind of plays into the next section that we get into, where I feel like it's a great move for Eagle and it's going to benefit MVP both. But I think Eagle has an upper hand there because Simon knows Eagle's bag and Simon knows MVP now, so he can help Eagle build a very solid bag. We'll get into all of that later.
Does MVP even make a singular disc that's stable enough for Eagle? I don't know their lineup like like maybe you and some other people, but like, what is he going to throw, dude? I feel like it's all just going to flip over on him.
They do have some 14 speeds that are pretty beefy. In my opinion, the Mayhem is pretty beefy, but I'm a noodle arm, so I don't get the snap. But at the same time, I think more than stability, it's about angle control.
True, yeah.
Because, for example, the Prodigy F9, which if you don't know, it's a -4 turn.
Mm-hmm.
That thing, you put on a Hydra, flips into a roller.
Yeah.
But if you control the angle, control the power, and the snap you get, you can put a flippy disc on a Hydra and ride that line the whole way.
I feel like one of the benefits that Eagle had at Discmania was he didn't really have to worry about angle control. You know what I mean? He would just kind of rip it at his favorite angle. That's kind of how I feel about like my Rive. It's like I don't worry about angle control with this. That's why I moved on from the Raiders, because like I'm trying to get tons of distance and tons of power, and I have to worry about too much. I got to worry about angle control. So I stepped up in stability and don't have to do that anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, if you think about it, there's MVP, there's Axiom, and there's Streamline discs all under the MVP line.
True.
So he's got options, and I'm sure they have something stable enough for him to throw. Plus, if you think about the dominant part of his game was his sidearm, and he's still recovering that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just going to work out good for him long term.
Leave a comment. What do you think Eagle's bag is going to look like? What's he going to throw? Let us know.
Yeah, please do. All right. On the lesser end, Macy Valadiaz recently announced that she's moving to DGA.
Yes.
So
the heroes are here. The heroes have been named. A 1-year deal for Macy. Honestly, I mean, we obviously we don't know the money aspects of this, right? We haven't known the money aspects of the DD offer, both of the DD offers, but she gets a 1-year deal, and then after that, she can prove it. She gets the financial stability she wants, so good for her. Good move for DGA, in my opinion. I think they get a lot of value out of this. I think it makes their brand look good. It's probably a decently low investment for them for a great player.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I was waiting for that question.
Do you want me to keep going? Or?
No. I think it's actually a really good move because who does DGA have on the FPO side? Katrina. No shade on Katrina, but I feel like Katrina's on her way out. She struggled a majority of last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you notice, she came out swinging at Vegas. She won Vegas by a landslide. But then where'd she go? Like, she wasn't competitive. She wasn't in the mix week in and week out. And like I said, no shade on Katrina. I think she's a great player. I have respect for her for a lot of the things she's done both on and off the course as far as women's disc golf. And,
yeah, absolutely.
And her whole movement on that. But I think DGA just opened up a huge opportunity for a young player that's up and coming to, like you said, prove herself.
Yeah.
And maybe get a bigger contract down the road. I mean, Macy has a lot of potential.
Yeah. Yep.
And we saw that this past season, and she played consistent. She didn't get wins or maybe podiums every week, but she was consistent and she played well.
Yeah.
So she has the opportunity to make a big move in this season.
Yeah. 100%.
Granted, she's only playing a handful of events because she's pregnant. Congrats to her and her husband on that.
Yeah.
But she has, like I said, a huge potential to make big moves this year.
Yeah. So, I think it'll be really interesting to see. How will she fare with a whole new bag in only playing a few events? You know what I mean? By the time she learns the bag, I feel like she'll be done. So I'm not saying she can't do it. We know how good she is. I'm just interested to see how it unfolds. This one that I'll be watching personally because, you know, I'm a DD guy.
Right.
So, but yeah. I mean, but not that I wish her ill. I'm just very interested to see where it goes. I want to see how big of a mistake did DD make by letting her go.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we talked about that more in the last episode.
Or did they make a mistake at all? Maybe they made the smart move.
Right, yeah, we'll see.
Because, again, going back to, you know, we talked about last episode, like you said, Macy declined the contract offer that was given to her.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, I don't put that on DD at all.
Right.
They offered her what they thought was fair for a limited schedule, and she declined that because in her mind it wasn't good enough.
Right. And she could have turned down that offer and then at that moment just been like, I'm leaving DD without giving them a chance to maybe go back to the table. But like, we don't know.
Right.
There's so much we don't know. You know, we only know her side of it.
Yep, exactly.
And then
all right,
Chris Clemens, one more.
Yeah, we knew that last episode he was going to Discraft. That was already announced.
Oh, we did? Oh, okay. Never
I thought
mind.
we did. Hey,
Oh.
if not, I mean,
if not, Chris Clemens went to Discraft, everybody.
Yeah. Which I think that's also a big surprise because he's been with DD for so long.
Yeah.
Kind of like Gannon. I mean, he's been there for a long time. And
yeah. I mean, he's been playing for a long time. Maybe, he wants one last shot at some decent money before,
yeah.
I don't think he's really declining. I think he's better than he's ever been.
Chris has been very steady.
Yeah,
he hasn't
exactly.
been, he's not winning. He's not far down the leaderboard. He's a very consistent player. He plays every week. He plays every tournament.
Exactly.
He's there.
Yeah. I'm sad to see him go, man. I'm super sad.
Of course.
Loved him at DD. He was so good.
But maybe, like I said, maybe this is his kind of last hurrah to come out with like a retirement fund or some kind of good living outside disc golf. And he knows he's on his way out the door. Who knows? We don't know. Maybe we can get Chris back on and ask him about it.
Yeah, maybe
that'd be cool.
He's just trying to, get some money on his way out, try a new brand, and then maybe he ends up being like a local guy. We don't know. We got to get him back on. Chris, if you're listening, hit us up.
Maybe I can reach out to him.
Yeah. Anyway. Facebook.com/theunderstablепodcast21, Chris. We would love for you to swing into our DMs.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That sounded weird, sir.
Whoa. This show just got rated R. All right, anyway, continuing.
All right, so let's recycle back to the top.
Yes.
Gannon Berg, over or under this year? Basing off of last year's performance. Will he perform better or worse than the last season?
Well, that's so tough because he actually played really well with Prodigy, but he's got a new bag.
Mm-hmm.
Will he perform better? I'm going to go with barely no. I'm going to say that he's going to play well. However, not as well as he played this year. If we ask this next year, I think he's going to do very well. But in 2024, I'm expecting him to be slightly less awesome. How about you? What do you think?
I'm the same. I don't think you'll see a decline in his performance this year based on skill and what he's able to accomplish. I don't think he'll have the same number of wins. I think that'll be less.
Same.
But I think overall, I think he will play right at the same line that he played last year.
He will be playing almost as much, in my opinion, almost as much meaningful final day disc golf.
Yes.
Almost
now,
as much.
I don't think he's going to put the work in this year to really supersede last year, and that's part of it. And you're going to a brand new bag that you really don't know, and you're having to learn everything in such a short amount of time. And Discmania has a lot of molds.
Yeah.
A lot of different discs that they can try. So he's got a lot to pick through.
Yeah.
So with that, I just think he's going to be under last year's performance.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think so too. Not by much, but I think we both agree a little bit under. Who's next?
Since we're on Discmania, let's just go with Alden Harris.
Alden Harris. Okay, so now this one, I think Alden Harris. Oh boy, I want to be optimistic and say over. I'm going under though. I'm going under.
Okay, why is that?
I think the new bag for him will be a much more of a shock to the system, if you will, than it would be for someone like Gannon. I think he will feel the effects of having a new bag harder than Gannon will, just because Gannon's got so much more raw talent. What do you think?
That's fair. Yeah, and if you watched Alden at Prodigy, he struggled.
Mm-hmm.
He did. He was good. He was consistent with where he was at, but again, you didn't see him in the mix. He wasn't up in the top 5 at all.
Yeah, it seemed like it would just be like random days that he is playing for anything meaningful on the final day of a disc golf tournament.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So I think I'm going under with him as well. Like you said, it's going to be a challenge for him to learn a new bag and get comfortable and settle in. So this year, I'm going under for sure.
I still think he's got a high ceiling. I still think he could potentially be a really, really good player.
Right. And terminology you've used before, maybe his floor is here right now, and maybe by the end of the season, he bumps his floor up a little bit higher and gets more comfortable to maybe, the year after he plays more consistent, maybe he's in the hunt for his first win. You never know.
I agree.
All right. Who shall we talk next?
We got to go with the easiest one, Eagle.
Eagle? I'm going Eagle over.
Way over. I mean, like, he barely had a year this year. You know what I mean? So, like,
he played well this year. I mean, he played.
Well, he barely played, I feel like.
No, he played a lot. He played a lot. No, he played a lot of events this year.
Oh, okay.
I think I started him almost every single week in our fantasy.
Oh, yeah. I guess he did play, but I don't think he was 100% at any point this year. I don't think at one point he was playing prime healthy disc golf. So I'm going with.
He did win a big event, though.
What's that?
He did win a big event, though.
I'm going way over for him.
Let me put this into perspective.
Okay.
Okay, guys. For those that don't know, the podcast boys and another couple people are in a fantasy disc golf league with just a couple of us. So
I got last, in case anyone's wondering.
Well, you had a rough year last year.
It was bad.
So Calvin Heinberg averaged 36.9 points per event.
Yeah, which was
based on our scoring system.
Yep.
Eagle McMahon averaged 32.1 points per event, and he played 17 events. So he missed 5 events last year.
Yeah.
So he didn't play that bad. In fact, he was actually the third highest MPO player in average points.
I'm still thinking way over for him, honestly. I think I don't think you'll see him outside of the top 10, like, at all, ever.
No, and I think this is a great move because he's also been throwing more left-handed.
Mm-hmm.
And MVP is actually, I think, one of the easier companies to throw.
Yeah.
They don't take a lot of effort to throw them. So it's a great move. Now, and as I alluded to earlier, Simon's had a year now at MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Simon knows Eagles' bag from Discmania.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that transition is going to be very smooth.
Mm-hmm.
And Simon will help him build a great bag that he'll be able to throw right out the gate.
Right.
Plus, it's Eagle McMahon. He's talented. I mean, the dude cashes from wherever he goes.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a return to his consistency this year, like we've been used to in the past, that we kind of haven't seen the last year and a half.
Right.
But yeah, I think we're going to have a great year from Eagle.
Of course. Chris Clemens, I don't think he'll do as good.
I don't think so either.
It's going to be a struggle for him. All the pressure on him with all of the Discraft greats, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever his contract is, and just again learning a new bag.
Right.
So I keep alluding to the new bag, and I think it's fair because I've changed bags and I've struggled.
Right.
But I'm just an M4 player, so what do I know?
Well, only time I ever changed my bag was when I went full trilogy for the first time, and I actually did way better. I think it was just the consistency of having all the same plastic and all that kind of stuff. Because I had a little bit of trilogy, and then I had Innova and Discraft, obviously. I even had DGA in there. I had the Squall, which was really fun. But yeah, just finding that consistency for me personally was pretty nice. But
for sure,
I also am not a professional disc golfer, so
pretty close. Could be. I could put a little extra work in.
I could be. Do we have any more?
Yeah, let's talk about Macy real quick. What are your thoughts? Because I really don't know.
It's an under year in my opinion. I think it's going to be an under year. I don't think she'll play as well as she did. New bag, she'll have a lot to think about this year. Yeah,
new bag, lack of events to play, pregnant. I mean, it all wears on your body. So yeah, definitely under for her.
I think even mentally, there's gonna be
a lot. There's a lot of pressure.
There's gonna be how are you or even physically? Maybe she's just not, because being pregnant is not easy. You know what I mean? It's not easy. So she's taking on a warrior mentality to go out there and play even the 10 events or whatever that she's going to play. I do think that there'll be, a struggle. I do think I don't think she'll play as well, obviously, as she did last year.
I would have to agree 100% with all of those.
Right.
So, all right. What's the dessert on the menu?
Dessert. Would you guys like some tips? What do you think?
Yeah.
Hit them with the tips?
Yeah. Right. Let's give them a quick amateur suggestion or amateur thoughts with us.
All right.
So
what should you do in the middle of a round that's maybe not going so well making adjustments mid-round, do you think that's something you should or shouldn't do, buddy?
Oh, absolutely should. You pay money for tournaments. Now I'm coming from a tournament perspective on this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? You pay money for tournaments.
Yeah.
You are trying to win. You're trying to do the best you can. Some rounds they just aren't meant to be. Some rounds there's just nothing goes right. There's nothing you can do. So you just kind of hang your head on what does go right. For example, 2 years ago I played at Echo Valley, having a terrible round. Decided to throw a backhand roller on the absolute hardest hole on the course, and I birdied the hole with a 60-foot putt.
Legend.
Don't know how it happened, but my round was done. Like my tournament was over basically at that point. And I'm just like, you know what? Forget it. I'm just gonna have fun, make what I can.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I think it's crucial to be able to identify when things are a little bit off and make the adjustments. If that means disking down, don't throw a high speed driver, disc down to a fairway, go back to your fallback shot you have, and play 3 or 4 holes just to take the par, and then adjust from there. Or maybe you're not consistent with circle 2 putts, but maybe you have a lot of confidence with C2 putts like this guy does.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, now I don't have to push to circle 1 to get a birdie. I can hit circle 2 and have the look and make that small adjustment to get to C2, not thinking about, I have to get there for a birdie. Just change a couple things. And a lot of it's your mindset. Changing your mindset changes games.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, what do you got, Brandon?
So for me personally, I can think of 2 things, like 2 major adjustments that I've done during tournaments. And for me, I'm a pretty strong backhand player. As you already know, like I have a serviceable sidearm. It's something I'm working on and getting better at. But you know me as a guy who likes to throw backhands. If I can throw it, I'm going to do it. I do realize I need to have both to make it. But some days you just don't have both. So a lot of times if I'm in a tournament, I'll, and say, there's a few sidearm shots. If I throw a couple sidearms or, 2, 3, maybe even 4 sidearms that do not go very well, for me personally, I've had this experience and then I will just abandon it for the rest of the round. I will completely abandon it and I will throw backhand turnovers because I like to and I'm very strong with those. I'll just completely abandon the sidearm for the round. I have also done that with my putt. I'm a staggered spin putter.
Right.
And there have been times when I've been so off. As any of you spin putters listening might know, you can get way off. You can get absolutely. I wish I was a pitch putter. So I wouldn't be so off, but I'm not. Okay. It's just not natural for me. But there have been times, I even did this in my very first Michigan State Championships. I putted normal for the first round. Second round, the putting was so bad, I completely abandoned it because I was like 3 over after like 6 holes or something like that on a really easy course. I abandoned the stagger putt and I went straddled putt just so I couldn't. So when I missed, I wouldn't go flying by. I ended up going 5 down from that point, and then I carried that over to the next day and did straddle putt the next day too.
You did that last year too at States.
I did. Yep, I did.
I remember getting those messages and talking to Kevin about it. Yeah.
Yep, I did. And not that it didn't work out for me. I had a great States, but yeah, there was a couple moments in the second round that it was really bad. The putting was really bad, so I switched to a straddle putt, knowing that if I missed, it wouldn't go very far, so it's less stress on my putting. And then after that, I definitely improved.
But yeah, all in all, to kind of wrap this up, I think it's very important to be able to acknowledge when things just are a little bit off and make the adjustments. I went and played Echo Valley, and I wanted to prove to myself that you could shoot par there with throwing mids the entire round. Well, putters as well, but I did. I was even through, I think, hole 12, and I just started to get famished or tired or whatever. And so I didn't finish like how I played the whole course, but I was even par through like 12 holes throwing mids.
And I think it's kind of interesting how your example, we have two different examples here, right? Like you are just like, you can kind of completely change your game plan. And then for me, I did a like damage control kind of change. You know what I mean? Something I knew that I was not going to 3-putt if I did this. I just limiting the damage, getting myself to the next round or the next day, So like,
okay,
I'm going to switch to, I'm going to stop. I'm going to drop the sidearm for this round. And then at break, I'll work on it. If it's still not feeling good, then it's like, okay, then it's out for the day.
Right.
So
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you putt with beaded putters?
No, I do not.
You don't like them?
Nope.
Okay.
I have
a tip for you, though.
Okay.
I have a tip for you.
Okay.
So you said you wish you were more of a push putter or maybe a spush putter.
Yeah.
Go find the flippiest putter that Dynamic has, whether it's a deputy or a dagger or whatever a flippy putter is.
Yeah, I've got a couple deputies.
And tweak your spin putt to that putter.
Okay.
Now, if you recall 3 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, I started putting with PA5s.
Okay. Yeah.
And I did that to learn to control the spin. So now I'm not all my putts are hard spins.
Yeah.
I can control if it's a hard spin, soft spin, but it taught me that control because I had to have more consistency with that putt. Because if I hit it hard, I'm missing right and I'm going 30, 40 feet past.
Right. Which is my problem all the time.
So now I've got to the point where if I have that 60-footer and I miss that 60-footer, even a 45-footer, if I miss a 45-footer, I'm only going 10 feet past the basket.
Right.
Most of us that have played a lot of tournaments can make those putts with our eyes closed.
Yep.
I think. So not only is that a suggestion or tip for Brandon, but it's also a tip for you guys at home.
You guys got a double tip episode, guys. You have to subscribe now. You have to subscribe. You got to leave a review. You got to follow. 2 tips.
For sure.
That's ridiculous. That is subscribing worthy stuff right there.
Yes, it is. And hey, once again, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Follow us, subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com at the Understable Podcast. It's in the link. It's in the video. Follow Brandon, follow myself. And until the next episode, keep it in the fairway.